What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I hope everybody's doing all right out there. If you've never been here before, check out some of my videos. There's plenty of them up there. Hit the subscribe button. I hope you like them. I hope you enjoy. Everybody else, welcome back. How to carry yourself in the prison system. That's what we're going to talk about right now. A lot of people wonder what it would be like to walk into prison, and they have worries and concerns. They would be nervous or scared to enter the prison system. There's a difference between jail and prison. I told you jail is very nerve wracking. Jail is a lot of chaos in jail. There's not a lot of organization in jail compared to prison, right? Prison is more structured. In jail, there's a lot of people coming off of drugs. In jail, there's a lot of people withdrawing. There's people, loose groups of guys running around like wilding out, right? If you could survive jail, you'll know how to do prison time by the time you get up there. Just because, well, maybe, right? I'll explain. Prison is when you're doing more than 1 year. You're doing more than 1 year. The judge sends you up to prison. You're doing less than 1 year. You do that time in jail. If you have 60 days or 90 days, you do that time in jail. 6 months, 8 months, you do that time in jail. If you get 1 day over a year, then you go up to prison, right? And so we'll talk about really how to carry yourself in either set of circumstances. And the first thing that I want you to do is to keep your head up, right? This is a very powerful, simple thing. You're asking me how to carry yourself in prison. I'm telling you to keep your head up. Don't look down at the ground. You look down at the ground, you look weak. You look down at the ground, you look like a target. You look down at the ground, you look scared. Think about people on the street when you walk around society and you see people looking down. What type of feeling do you get from that person? Right? That person is showing that they're a weaker person, or they're a scared person, a frightened person, because they're looking down. There's plenty of videos you can find on YouTube on how confident people carry themselves with their body. Their chest is up, their head is up, their shoulders are back, right? You don't have to do it so it's noticeable, like you walking around like you the head honcho, because then you look ridiculous, right? But keep your head up and keep your shoulders back, right? And when you notice someone that looking at you, you look back at them. There's a psychology that 1.4 seconds is how long you could look at someone before the person thinks you're staring at them. You see, when you walk around society all day and people make eye contact with each other, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? All right, brother, how you doing? Like that. You make eye contact with people. This way, you're letting them know, I'm aware that you're in my presence. I'm aware, right? This is all a psychology. The head up, the shoulders back, the quick eye contact. If you stare at someone longer than 1.5 seconds, then that you start to make that person uncomfortable, and that person starts to feel like they're being stared at, right? You don't want the person to feel like they're being stared at. You want to make the person realize that you acknowledge their presence in your presence. How you doing? What's up? That's it. That's the respectful way that you greet a guy in prison. What's doing? All right. You got to do that. Don't keep your head down. Don't put your eyes down to the ground. And make sure you judge people. Use your gut that I've spoken about in some of my videos. Right? You're going to go in there, you're nervous, you're scared, but use your gut. Look at the way that the guys wear their clothes. Same thing, I'll bring it back to the street. When you see a guy in society and you're out and he's wearing his clothes a certain way, right? It tells you if you're comfortable around that person or not. Just by the way a man wears his clothes, right? By the way he talks, by the way he speaks, by the way he acts, by the way he's carrying himself, right? So when you're in prison and your head is up, the reason your head is up is to show confidence, but the reason your head is up is to look at everyone around you and look at the circumstances around you. And even if you are scared and even if you are nervous, you're going to pretend that you're not by holding your head up. And when you hold your head up, you'll start to notice everybody and everything around you. And I want you to judge people. Forget about what they say on the street. Don't ever judge anyone. You got to judge everyone, right? In this sense, where you're examining their behavior, right? And see, is this a person that I would want to get into a conversation with, right? And your gut's going to tell you that, right? Your gut will tell you that. You need to act like you're not nervous, right? So that's one of the big rules in there. But don't be eager to make friends either. I've spoken about that. See, when you go into prison, and I told you everything is segregated, right? There's tell me if this makes sense to you, right? And this is just the way it is. The Jamaicans are over here, the Dominicans are over there, the Puerto Ricans are over there, the white guys are over there. Everybody's segregated. So if a Dominican guy or a Puerto Rican guy comes to get you and says, "Yo, let me bring you over to all the fellas," and you go over there and you're the only white dude in the circle, do you think that that seems like a legitimate reason that he's bringing you over there? That doesn't sound like it would make sense, right? But eventually you would go in there and one of the white guys that has already formed a crew of guys that hang out in there will come over to you. "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" And you get into the conversation. As your head is up and your shoulders are back, and you talk, "I'm all right, good. What's happening?" He's, "Yo, you just came in? Yeah, I just came in from Rikers Island." "Oh, how much? What'd you get? You got a long bid? I got 12 and a half to 25. No doubt, right? One, you got to. He's going to check your paperwork to make sure you don't have a sex crime or a rape charge or anything like that. He's, "Yo, you got a bad case?" "No, I don't have a bad case. I got into a fight with a dude that had a murder charge. Things went bad, whatever. I'll tell you the story. I'll show you my paperwork. No doubt. Come on, I'll bring you over. You can meet the fellas." Boom. And you're going to meet the fellas. You're going to meet the crew. You're going to have a crew of guys. And of course, you're going to do the same judging inside of that crew without telling them. You're examining all of them. Is this guy a guy that I seem like to chill out with? Would I chill out with this guy? Would I chill out with that guy? Right? You follow? Do you follow me? Everything's going to be a comfort level for you, right? But even before that, see, that crew of guys may not be on the company that you lock in. Let's say you lock, there's 60 cells where you lock. And there may be one or two guys from that crew that are up there. But most of the guys, everyone doesn't lock in the same area. They spend time together in the yard, right? So you're up in the cells in the area, and another guy comes up to you. "Yo, you got a cup of coffee, son?" Don't be afraid to say no. If the guy is not in your circle and you don't, you could give it to him one time if you feel comfortable enough. Head is up, shoulders are back. "Yeah, yeah, I got a cup of coffee for you. There you go." If he comes back again, "Yo, you got another cup of coffee?" Say, "Nah, I ain't got it like that, brother." You don't have a problem looking someone right in their face and saying, "No, listen, I ain't got it like that to take care of you. You got to hit someone else up. I can't keep giving up my coffee. I only got, sir. Oh, yo, I just need one more cup of coffee." "I'm sorry, brother. I said I ain't got it like that." You got to shut that down. He may come, "Yo, you got a postage stamp? I got to mail this letter." "Yo, you got a cigarette? I need a cigarette. Can I get a cigarette?" Like I said, there's nothing wrong with helping someone out. I would help the guys out too. Yeah, sometimes I give them 2 cigarettes. Here you go. But when the guy comes back, "Yo, Fish, you got another cigarette?" I said, "No, listen, I can't keep giving you cigarettes. I can't keep giving you cigarettes. You got to hit someone else up, brother." That's it. Right? You can't be afraid to say no. Right? Because if you're afraid to say no, they will just continue to try and take advantage of you because most people don't have a pot to piss in there, right? Head up, shoulders back. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't disrespect anyone. Mind your business, but keep your ears open to everything that's going on around you. Listen to people's conversations. When people are talking, listen. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Keep your mouth shut. You got to learn to carry yourself like a man now. Right? Even if you're afraid, you don't walk into prison like you're afraid. Walk into prison like, "All right, I got this." And that's hard to have that confidence when you're nervous, but it's something that you have to have. You got to hold that. Don't challenge officers either. You see the young kids do that. They're stupid. They challenge the officers. The officers tell them, "Yo, take that clothesline down in the cell. You ain't supposed to have a clothesline." "Yo, but I need to dry my clothes, man." Don't get into arguments with the officers. It's their house. Just take the line down. If the officer comes, "Yo, take that clothesline down." "Sorry, officer." Boom, you take it down. "Yo, you clean up your cell. Your cell's a mess." "Yo, I just clean." It's their house, right? So that way you don't want to have a beef with them or a problem with them. A lot of the young kids like to challenge them. Don't challenge them. Don't challenge them, but don't ever rat. Don't ever tell an officer anything. That's important. Once you rat, the population is going to find out that you're a rat and you're a snitch and you're done. You're going to get stabbed. You're going to get cut. You're going to get mudded out. The officer won't respect you either. Officers don't respect rats. They just like to use rats to get information, and they can't protect you. If an officer I had an officer ask me for information once. Hey, yo, Fish, I've told the story before. He said to me, yo, Fish, there was a couple of lunch trays up here. Did you see who grabbed those lunch trays? And I went and I turned around and I told him, yo, I got a lot of respect for you. But do me a favor, don't ever ask me about another prisoner. Don't ever ask me if anyone took anything or did anything. I don't even appreciate you putting me in that position. I don't tell on anyone. I said, if I saw you do something wrong, and the prison administration asked me if I saw you do something wrong, I would tell them I would nothing. I tell them, no, I wouldn't tell on you. I wouldn't tell on a prisoner. I won't tell on it. Now you'll get respect from the officer. So realize that that's your home and you're going to have to live in there. And keep your mouth shut. Mind your business. Keep your head up. Keep your shoulders back. Hang out with your own crew of guys. You're going to find that crew of guys. You'll find them. They'll find you. They'll find you. And if you're comfortable in that crew, there may be 5, 6 guys that are hanging out together. Maybe 10, 15 guys hanging out together if you're in maximum security prison, right? You'll see there's be 1 or 2 guys in the crew that you click with. You're not going to let them take advantage of you either. Not that they would really try them much, but there might be 1 or 2 guys in the crew if they see you got anything. Yo, you're right. You keep everyone at bay. You're going to keep everyone at bay. You're going to keep everyone in their position. There's an old saying, play your position, right? You got to stand up for yourself. You got to be prepared to fight if someone disrespects you in prison. You have to show that. You don't have to be the toughest guy in the world, but you're not going to let anyone just disrespect you. But no one should go out of their way and disrespect you if you learn how to maintain eye contact with people and keep your head up and keep your shoulders back and don't be afraid to say no and don't let anyone take advantage of you. Right? And I know that's hard, right? That's hard for some people, especially for people who are not street people. To avoid a lot of problems, stay away from the drugs. Drugs bring nothing but problems. Stay away from homosexuals. Stay away from gambling. The 3 biggest things that bring problems in prison: drugs, homosexuals, and gambling. Don't get involved in any of them. And if you went to prison because you were doing drugs and it's sent there, it's time to get clean. That's it. It's time to get clean. Don't do drugs in there, right? And when you do drugs, the prison administration and the officers will find out because there's tons of rats in prison. And they'll be ripping your cell apart and making your life hell, and you don't want to have anything to do with that stuff. Just don't disrespect anyone either. It's time to carry yourself like a man in that place. There's no playing games in there. You got to carry yourself like a man. That means if you were doing stupid stuff on the street, there's no cutting the line. There's no bumping into people. Give everyone their space. Don't stand up on people. You come out of your cell and you're walking, stay 12, 16 inches away from the next prisoner. Yeah, that's something to think about. Just walking up on people, brushing against them, bumping into people. Don't do that. Head up, shoulders back, ears open, eyes open. Don't be afraid to say no. Stand your ground. A guy outside of your circle comes up to you on the company. Yo, I'm cooking tonight. You want to eat? Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about that. You eat with your own crew. But you might find a guy that you're comfortable with. You'll know if the other guys accepted him in the prison as well. You may have a guy that comes up to you. Hey, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Da, da, da. And after you're done talking to this guy, other prisoners come up to you and say, yo, stay away from him. That guy's no good. If prisoners come up to you and tell you that a guy is no good, then the guy is no good and you stay away from him. Heed to the advice. Listen to the advice. Because if you hang out with a guy that's no good, then you're no good in everybody else's eyes. And doing your time will be hard. The guy's either a rapist, he's a rat, he's a child molester. For some reason, these guys don't trust him. So that's why you don't just sit down and break bread with anyone. But you will see by this time, it only takes a couple of weeks, believe me, even if you've never been in prison before, it only takes a few weeks. And then you'll get into it, you get into a groove and you see who's good and who's not good. But in those few weeks, it's when that fresh face comes in that guys will test you. Yo, you got the coffee? Yo, you got a cup of coffee? You got a cigarette? You got a stamp? And you got to put your foot down and let them know that you're not one of those people that's just going to give out things because they don't have anything at all. You follow what I'm saying? You can't, you have to be careful when it comes to stuff like that. If somebody comes up to you and says, hey, yo, I got you. Well, let's say when you first go in, yo, I got you. If you need anything, let me know. Right? You look that guy right in his face and say, I'm good. I take care of myself. I'm good. I got everything I need. Even if you don't have everything you need, I got everything I need. And you'll be okay as long as you just realize that everything will come together. Don't act like somebody that you're not. Be yourself. Don't act like a tough guy. But at the same time, you have to do a little acting so people realize that you can't be pushed around. Don't walk around. See, I try to think of was I nervous when I went in there? Of course, I was a little nervous, right? I mean, who wouldn't be a little nervous? I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy. I wasn't overly nervous. I was just nervous of how much time I had to do. There were points where I went into a prison and I said, what I was thinking of was long term, meaning I said, am I ever going to make it out of here alive? Is somebody going to kill me? Am I going to be forced to kill someone else and then they never let me go? Am I going to kill myself because I just can't take this? Right? Those thoughts were inside of my head. But then you got to dismiss those thoughts and say, you know what? I just got to do this time, day by day, one day at a time. That's how you do time, one day at a time. What helped me was I grew up as a boxer. I grew up as a wrestler. I was athletic. I fought in the bars when I was young, in my 20s. From young, I started at 17, 16, 17. I got into my first bar fight with a man, and we loved to go into the bars and fight. And I'm not talking little kid fights. I'm from a drinking town. We would fight in the bars, and that was something that I enjoyed it. I was that's the type of guy I was. So when I got into prison, I had the confidence where I knew that I could take care of myself. That helped. But I was also a very respectful person. But even though I was a respectful person, problems did come my way, especially when I was in jail. I've been to Nassau County Jail. I've been to Riverhead Jail. I've been to Rikers Island Jail, and jail is different. Guys like to test each other a lot more in jail. You know what I mean? You got a lot of dudes from the real bottom of the barrel, man, in jail. And so jail, it could get a little wild. There's a lot of fist fights there. In prison is different. Guys have calmed down a lot in prison. There's still a lot of drama, don't get me wrong. But guys are doing their bid, what they call doing their bid. They're doing their time. They settled in. Most people have found their own circle. They found their own groups. They're doing their time. And if you carry yourself like a man and you carry yourself respectful and you keep your head up, you keep your eyes open, you keep your ears open, keep your mouth shut, keep your shoulders back, find a crew of guys. They'll explain to you the way everything runs. Mind your business. Give the officers their courtesy and their respect. Give their prisoners their courtesy and their respect. And don't let anyone push you around, number one. And don't be afraid to say no. Those are very important words. I can't stress that enough. Don't be afraid to say no to people. If people ask you for things and you give it to them, you are opening the floodgates, and they will not stop. They will continue to try and take advantage of you. So right from the beginning, you don't allow people to do that. And you'll get with the program. You're not going to isolate yourself and just sit inside of your cell. And you could think you're going to do that. You're not going to do that. You will go crazy. And if people see that you're by yourself and that you isolate yourself and that you're not hanging out with anyone, then people will test you for sure because they know nobody's got your back. You see, when you hang out with a crew of guys and you're with the whole crew, that crew is going to have your back. That's part of doing prison time. Guys are together in cliques and they stick together and they stand together. And you'll get yourself in that crew of guys, but you got to get yourself in a good crew of guys, right? And most crews of guys, unless you don't want to get into a gang crew because there's nothing but trouble. You don't want to get into a crew of guys where they're all getting high and twisted and using drugs because then that's nothing but trouble, right? You want to get involved with a crew of guys that are just doing their time. You know, as I come to a close, my message is stay the hell out of this place. It's really no joke. People get cut, people get stabbed, people get killed, people get set on fire, people get their faces slashed open with scalpels and razors over the littlest things. So it's a very serious place. Look what's going on with all the correctional officers. We're beating Robert Brooks to death, beating the guy in Attica to death, beating guys in mid-state up, right? That transpires every day in prison. Officers beat up prisoners every day. But I'll tell you something, officers don't really beat up prisoners who carry themselves correctly. I don't care what, does it happen? Of course it can happen. But the officers usually go after guys that challenge them, that disrespect them, that don't listen to them. When you go into prison and you carry yourself like a man, whether you're white, black, Spanish, Asian, when you carry yourself like a man and you have your head up and you just respect the rules and you follow the rules and you do your time like a man, officers are not going out of their way to beat you up for no reason. You have true animals in there, prisoners that are throwing feces on officers, prisoners that are cursing officers out. You ain't cursing officers out. It's their house. And if you do that, there'll be repercussions. Not that I agree with the repercussions. I'm telling you that if you tell an officer F you're in trouble. That's their house. Right? And you don't say it to prisoners either. You just do your time and carry yourself correctly, and you can do it. But the point is, you want to stay out of there, right? And so my main message is, my first thing that I beg of you is, if you're doing any type of drugs, get off drugs. 80%, 90% of the men in prison are in there because of drugs. Either they possess drugs, they were selling drugs, they did a robbery or a crime while they were under the influence of drugs, or they did a robbery to get money to get drugs. They killed someone while they were under the influence of drugs. They got into a fight, and alcohol is included in that. Alcohol is one of the most dangerous drugs. You do the stupidest things when you're drunk. You do more dangerous, criminal, stupid things when you're drunk than when you're on heroin. That's the truth. Alcohol's, but this is not a story about that right now. It's just get off of the drugs. Stop the drugs. And if you stop the drugs, you reduce your chances of going to prison tremendously. Get clean. Being clean is great. I love being clean. You feel so much better. You think better. You behave better. Right? Beat the drug addiction, my friends, if any of you are doing that. Right? But God forbid you got to go into that system. You listen to what I just explained to you, and you can make it. And for those of you that have a loved one in there, if your son is in there, your brother's in there, your nephew's in there, your sister's in there, your husband, whoever's in there, you tell them to carry themselves the right way. And if they carry themselves the right way, the chances and the odds of them coming home to you greatly increase just by the way they carry themselves. I go on a little chat, a little Facebook thing, and you see a lot of the wives complaining. Oh, the officers did this to my husband, and the officers did that to my husband. Well, tell your husband to carry himself correctly. A lot of your husbands are idiots. I'm not saying all of you, and I'm not saying officers don't go out of their way to harass people. Don't put words in my mouth. Listen to my words. But I lived in there for 17 years, and I know a lot of your brothers and a lot of your husbands carry themselves like they think they're still on the street. And so they bring the attention on themselves, is what I'm saying. They bring the heat on themselves, and then they get burned. So if you carry yourself the right way and live the right way, problems diminish tremendously. The focus is going home. When you walk into prison, okay, what do I have to do to go home? Let me carry myself the right way because my goal, my agenda, my mission is to get out of here and go back home and never go in there ever again. I hope some of the information I gave helped you. I'm wrapping this up for now. Take care.